All of us are photographers these days. Whether we use our smartphone, our tablet or a camera, we love taking pictures and we love publishing them. And with social media, with Instagram, Facebook and a multitude of other platforms, it's easier than ever to get your work published and to share it with the world. It's not always been like that, but now it is, and we love to do it. We love to share and comment and have feedback on our own pictures. I've noticed though it's really easy to conform to the norm. People will see something they like and copy it, they'll mimic it, they'll try to make their photos look like everybody else's just because they like them, and it kind of gets boring. I want to encourage you to step out and try something different. Develop your own unique photographic style. It's not something that happens easily, but have it in mind, and whenever you're taking photographs, try and incorporate something unique to yourself about the way you see the world and the way you express the way you see the world. You know, we all have our own worldview. We all see the world a little bit differently, so why not share this with people? Your photos will be much more recognisable and unique if you can manage to do this. Yeah, in doing this, you'll need to get out of your comfort zone. If you stay just doing the type of photography that you always enjoy, that you find easy, you're never really going to develop your own style. So you need to push yourself a little bit and do it diligently, persevere with it. Yeah, for me as a young guy starting out, I never used to photograph people. I was very shy, very insecure as a young man, and it just was too scary. I was frightened of photographing people. But my sister encouraged me. She said, "Your photos are fantastic, but where are the people? There's no people in them." And so I started photographing her, somewhat to her dislike, but I got some good pictures. And it just encouraged me to loosen up. And I started photographing friends as we used to hang out together, and just really began to enjoy it and began to notice a difference in my photographs. And a little while later, I got a job working at the Auckland Star newspaper, a daily newspaper in Auckland. And I was just doing desk work in the photography department, filing negatives, taking clippings, running errands. Every now and again I'd get an assignment, and I realised pretty quickly that I was going to have to overcome my fear of photographing strangers, because pretty much every photo in the newspaper has at least one person in them. I wanted to do this job. I wanted to be a photographer, and so I realised I was going to have to overcome my fear of photographing strangers. It's taken me a long time to get comfortable photographing strangers. I'm not comfortable all the time. Sometimes I'll still have to really push myself, and it might be a bit uncomfortable, but I know if I don't do that, I'm never going to get the picture. I love photographing people who are doing what they do, whether it's cooking kebabs on the street in Istanbul or doing their hand stitching in a small hut in a Korean village somewhere. But with these sort of situations, when I see something that I like, I see a character that I like, I want to photograph them. Like I said, I really enjoy photographing people doing what they're doing. They're focused, their attention is on what they're passionate about, what they enjoy doing, or sometimes even just what they have to do. But it just adds a depth of feeling to an image. And so, yeah, with this guy slicing his kebabs, he was quite a character. He was talking, he was selling what he was doing as he was doing it. I thought, that's an easy picture. He's a showman. So showmen are usually really easy to photograph. They just engrossed in what they do. They like showing off. They like being publicised. So the difference in a Korean village or a hill tribe village somewhere, these people are usually quite shy and a bit reserved and not sure about the contact, especially if they don't see many foreigners, so have to take a different approach. In the photo of the young lady on the street looking down at her, I wanted a portrait to illustrate a busy city. It's in the heart of Bangkok, but I was having trouble with very distracting backgrounds and people walking in front of the camera, so I got up onto a footbridge, up into a staircase on a footbridge, an overbridge over the road, and got her to stand on the pavement and stand really still. And using a slower shutter speed, I managed to capture the movement of the people walking past, but to have her standing still. And she was super patient, really diligent, really good. It took us probably an hour or more to get a series of photographs, and this is one of only a few that I actually show that are any good. And just the simplicity, there's only 3 other people in the shot, but it really conveys the movement. I love how each of them have got 1 foot on the ground that's still and sharp, so it adds a feeling to it. And it's a feeling of, the movement, but also the stillness and the solitude in the middle of a big city. And it's, I think a photo that conveys this with some feeling. And a style that I really enjoy working in the most is getting my outdoor studio up. And this is a studio that I've developed after reading a book by one of my favourite photographers. Irving Penn was an American photographer, mainly for Vogue magazine through the 50s, 60s and 70s and further on. And he had this portable daylight studio that he would take with him to different places like Morocco or Papua New Guinea and photograph the local people there. But his was quite a big and cumbersome thing. Mine I can set up by myself in 10 or 15 minutes, and I've used it in lots of different locations around Thailand and really enjoy it. Working only with available light, using some reflectors, but just positioning the studio so that the light works well, and particularly with the dark background. I've got a light background as well, but I like the isolation on black. It really helps to draw character from the people and to show their expression, to show who they are. And it's been something that over the probably 10 years or so now that I've been using it, I've continued to develop the way I work with the lighting, but the way I also work with the people in that environment. It's always set up in an environment that they're comfortable with. It's in their village, it's in their comfort zone. So it adds a difference. Rather than bringing somebody into a studio with lighting, they're generally more relaxed, fascinated for sure with what we're doing, and it can bring just a fascination and an interest, and this can add some dynamic to their expression and to the way that they appear in front of the camera, because there's something special is happening, but it's still within the comfort zone of being in their village. And I love working like this. Quite often I've had somebody with me that has relationship already with some of these people. In this Polkarin village, it's the hometown of my long-time assistant, Conformed. And so he's there with us, and so we have relationship. I've photographed there a few times, and so the relationship is good and the people generally enjoy it. But I'm always looking for something a little bit different. We encourage these men with the body tattoos, which are pretty unique, pretty special, to be photographed, and they were a bit reluctant, but eventually they agreed to and rolled their pants up so we could see the tattoos on their legs and up onto their torsos, and were quite excited to be able to photograph them. But this one image of the man standing there, where I've not looked at his face, I've photographed his face in other images, there's another image of him here, but to concentrate just on what was to me really the essence and the feeling of it. Okay, we wanted to see the tattoos, but as he had his arms folded and crossed in front of him, it did convey some, nervousness or a little bit maybe reluctance to show off, but it has some depth and some feeling. So whatever you're doing to develop your own style, look at what catches your eye, what's within your field of view that you can zero in on that can best express your feeling and show what you're interested in or the way you see the world. And oftentimes it'll be, it won't be a single image, oftentimes it'll be a collection of images that you can put together, maybe 4, 5 or 6 photographs that can help to convey the way you feel, the attitude that you have, the inspiration that you get from whatever you're photographing. So think about these things when you're working with your camera, when you're using your phone, whatever you're using to take your photographs, whenever you're photographing, have in mind to be unique, have in mind to create something special that nobody else in this world is going to create, because nobody in the world has got the same worldview, the same perspective, the same feeling about life and the way you see the world as you do. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got lots of great videos up there already, and there's more on the way.